Hi, this is George Smith from Big About Bold, the Mindset for Success. And today I want to talk to you about developing the mindset for success, developing mindset habits for success. 99% of everything you think, feel and do typically is unconscious. Even when you're most lucid and you're most alert and most awake and most conscious and most cognitive, it's still about 95% of everything you think, feel and do is unconscious. So between 1% and 5%, Bruce Lipton said up to 6%. So 1 to 6% of everything you think, feel and do is conscious. Everything else is unconscious. In other words, it's unconscious habits playing out habitually, repeating cycles, repeating patterns that keep delivering the same old returns. If we want to create different in this world, we need to do different. To do different, we need to be different. So what do I mean by being different? Well, I want to take you through what I call the mindset habit stack. You might also refer to this as the system. When I talk about manipulate the systems that are manipulating you, this is the system that we're talking about. So we are unconsciously being driven on a current path right now. If we want to change course from mediocre to success, to happiness, from frustration to fulfillment, then we need to get involved in our own life. We need to get involved at our own habits at a very deep level, break those habits, because then we can align ourselves with the new journey. I don't want you constantly fighting yourself. So you're trying to do this and you're forcing yourself to do this, or you're unconsciously doing this as a habit and you're trying to do different. It's like I'm smoking and I want to smoke and I love smoking, but I kind of don't want to smoke. So I'm trying to give up smoke. Just tension. What we want to do is we want to become a non-smoker. Become a non-smoker, smoking is no longer an issue for you. If you want to get healthy and lose weight, we want to become someone that habitually enjoys eating healthy food and exercising, and we want to become someone that habitually doesn't enjoy eating all the negative things and sitting on our ass doing nothing. Does this make sense? We want to change who we are, and then the results will follow that. So the habit stack or the system goes like this. Right at the top of the system, we have our identity. The identity of ourselves is what I call the I am and it is lie. Don't ever tell yourself I am and it is, okay? These are things that you've learned. These are things that you've adopted, that you've taken on. You've conditioned them to a point where you believe they're so true that they are cast in stone. Underneath our identity, we have our beliefs. Now, our beliefs form our identity, and our identity also forms our beliefs. So these two things kind of sequence back and forward between each other. Our beliefs give rise to our thought patterns. Our thought patterns give rise to our chemical responses, our feelings. Those feelings are there to take action. The actions, obviously, that we take have a reaction, and those reactions, those results, then get perceived by us as reality, as real, and then it feeds back in to our identity and our beliefs. So it's a trap, it's a loop. I think I'm this way. I believe all these things around my life that conform to that identity. My thought patterns obviously are in alignment with that. Therefore, my emotions, my chemistry set is aligned with that. So I take actions aligned with that. I get an outcome that is aligned with that. I see that outcome. I perceive that outcome in the outside world, the result. I make that my reality, and it feeds back in as true, back into what I believe about myself, believe about the world, and what I ultimately hold as my identity about myself. And we perpetuate it over and over again. Now, evolutionarily speaking, it made all the sense in the world. Once we've learned what keeps us alive, then evolution and nature doesn't want us to mess with that because it's working. And if you're watching this now and you're 30 and you're 40 or 50 or 60 years old, even if you're 20 years old, then as far as nature is concerned, as far as evolution is concerned, we're doing it the right way. You're doing a good job. Remember, evolution is about safety. It's not about thriving. It's not about success. We succeed as a species. We thrive as a species by surviving as individuals. So if you're here watching this, what you're doing works as far as your unconscious mind is concerned. It just might not work as well as other things, and it might not be giving you everything that you would want out of life, and it might be causing you some discomfort and even pain. So we want to get into this system and we want to start changing that flow. We want to create a new system that gives us a better result. Now, of course, if it's working, don't mess with it. I always say this to everybody. You know, everyone says, well, this stuff isn't working. You're telling me it's a trap and it's a loop. Is that the same for the good stuff? Yeah, it's exactly the same, but don't mess with the good stuff. We want to work on the stuff that isn't working for us. So if you've got an area of your life where you have frustration, an area of your life where you're unfulfilled, an area of your life where maybe you already know that you have this pattern playing out. Now these patterns can play out almost like on a minute by minute basis, almost a second by second basis, but also sometimes they can play out much slower. They can play out over people's careers. You know, where people can have great career growth, they get to a certain point and they sabotage their career, and that's the loop coming back round. Sometimes it's relationships. People can have long-term relationships, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, maybe even 5 year, 10 year patterns. And they go through a cycle of that relationship and they come back round again. And it just fulfills itself, like history repeating itself. Think of an area of your life where you repeat the same patterns over and over again. You might already be aware of what you're doing in that pattern, or you might just be able to observe the patterns outside of you. I always say, one of the best places to start looking for change is on the outside world. Look at what you're unhappy with. Look at how life keeps repeating itself. Then come back within ourselves and look at what we're doing that's creating that repeated cycle. It takes a lot of responsibility sometimes, but ultimately it's to see that we are responsible for everything we're creating in life. Maybe not on the minute by minute basis, but over the long term, we will get back out of life fundamentally what we put in. It will be a direct reflection of us. Not this minute, not this moment, but over a longer time scale. It will balance out. I always say, by the time you die, your books will balance. Your life will be, at the end of your life, a balance check or balance sheet that balances out over the whole course of your life, how you've been for the whole of your life. So we want to get into this stack and we want to start creating change. The first thing you do is you choose your identity. Choose the new identity. Now, this will be a desire or want. You'll say, I wish I was this. And your unconscious mind will instantly say, yeah, but we're not. Doesn't matter. Just choose what it is you want. Then you need to choose the beliefs that align with the identity and identify with those beliefs that align with the identity, and we need to take them on. Now, you don't need to know how to take them on just yet, because the next layer down is going to do that for you. Thoughts. This is where we want to punch into that cycle, into that loop. We want to check our thoughts, be mindful of our thoughts, choose our thoughts very carefully. Initially, those thoughts are going to go whizzing past at the speed of light, and you're going to miss them. As you get more accustomed and more aware of your own thought process and thought patterns, you'll be able to grab them. It'll whiz past, you'll grab it, you'll pull it back, and you'll see it. Then what we can do is discard that one, and we can put a new thought pattern into the system. Think of it almost like a computer system. We grab that bit of data, we throw that data away, we get a new piece of data, we plug that new data in, and then we start to get a different program running. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, of course. We have to keep putting into the system. We have to keep going and keep going and keep going, and then the new system will start to take hold, and we start to become this new person, and we start to separate ourselves and get some distance from that old person that was getting the old result that we weren't happy with. So once we've got our thoughts and we're all over those thoughts, feelings are going to happen. Now, if we don't catch these thoughts quick enough, you're going to have a feeling response, an emotional response. Here's the thing. If those feelings do not align with what you're trying to create out of life and what you're trying to do in life, then what you need to do is you need to be with that experience. More often than not, what I see with people is they feed into it with their thought patterns and they keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Emotions were never meant to last for days or weeks or months or even years or lifetimes. Emotions are only meant to last for short periods of time in order to take the action that the unconscious mind is trying to get us to do or trying to manipulate us to do in order to keep us safe. So the Buddhists have a great philosophy of this, which is when you have any kind of emotion, a negative emotion, just be with that emotion. Just let it be. Don't get involved. Don't think about it. Don't look at it and go, oh, I've failed. Here I am. Because you're just going back in and turning the handle on that whole system. What you do is you be with it. Let the chemistry pass out of your system. Let the chemistry pass. Once the feeling's in there, you can't get rid of it. You can't cut your finger and bleed it out. Just let it pass. It will subside. Like spinning a wheel on a bike. Just sit back, let it spin, it will spin itself out, it will slow back down, and then we start again. Underneath that, we've got our actions. Now, what's really important here is regardless of the emotions that we're having, we want to choose our actions. But of course, if we've done our work at the thought stage, we're going to have much better emotional responses that tie to the action we want to be taking. Okay, so if I want to be happy instead of miserable, and I want to take happy action, whatever that might be for you, given where you are in your life, then of course, if I'm having good positive thoughts, it's going to give me good positive chemistry. It's going to be much easier to take positive action. However, even if I'm feeling miserable, even if I'm angry, frustrated, even if I'm feeling jealousy or guilt or any other negative emotion, I still have to do positive stuff. Now, here's the thing. This is willpower, and willpower will never change you on its own. Willpower is almost what we use as a backup to everything else. It's not at the forefront of creating change. If we try and use willpower, nothing else but willpower, we will be beaten down and the unconscious mind will win, because willpower is strong in short periods of time, but the moment you take your eye off the ball, the old system's going to kick back in because it's an unconscious habit. I hope this makes sense. But we have to choose our actions very, very carefully, and we sometimes have to fight and resist the emotions that we're having, but never taking our eye off the fact that we want to be upstream with the thought processes, creating that change so we don't have to keep relying on willpower. Then we're going to get an outcome, and then we have to choose our perception of that outcome. You go and do something for the first time. It's a positive thing to do, but you don't get a positive result. If you look at that as I'm a failure, I'm useless, there's no point trying, then of course it goes back into the reality check, it goes back into your identity, back into your beliefs, and ultimately what it's going to do is you'll say, see, I'm no good at that thing. That's not true. You weren't any good that one time, or you weren't very good, you didn't get the result, you wanted, whatever the reality is. The truth is, why would you be brilliant the first time you try something? So you perceive it as, you know what, I didn't get the outcome I wanted, but I'm proud as hell of myself for taking that action. I'm proud of hell for doing it. I look for all the positives within it. That goes into reality, which is, I could be good at this. You might not want to lie to yourself and say, I'm brilliant at this, when you're not, but you can look at it and say, you know what, I can see how I can get better. I can see that I can do this. If I keep going, I will be able to master this thing. That goes back into your identity, into your beliefs, and then we go. I hope this makes sense. So we want to get into this system, break this system. And the way it works is, imagine you've got a red system. A red system is your anger, okay, or your resentments, or whatever it might be. You've got this angry system going on. And imagine blue is calm and passive and peaceful. What we want to do is inject blue ink all over the place on this stack. Inject blue action, inject blue thoughts, and then we should get some blue feelings, and then we'll get some blue responses, and then we'll be able to perceive those blue responses with a blue perception, which will create a blue reality for us, which will feed back in and create a blue identity and a blue belief system. And when we do this enough, it will go from red to slightly purple to bluey purple to blue. And now we have the new system in place, the new system's online, and that's when I say we're in alignment. Now taking the new action will be easy. There is no willpower, because now you want to do the new way and you don't want to do the old way. You want to feel the way the new way feels, and you don't want to feel the old way. More importantly, the habits in place. You're automatically thinking and feeling and doing in alignment with the new way, which is going to give you the new result. So this is a whopping great, like 12-minute video, okay? So I know I've put a few longer ones up here and everything else. I hope you're watching the whole thing, but I wanted to give you some real core fundamentals of what I teach my success groups and what I teach my one-to-one clients and corporates and kids and suicidal people, everybody, okay? I want to give you the tools that I use on a day-to-day basis for you to implement themselves, not just necessarily always short-term little 1 minute, 2 minute bite-sized chunks and concepts. So I hope you've made it to the end. If you have, well done. Go and implement it. Go and create change. Don't try and do everything at once. Pick an area of your life that's frustrating you. Pick a bad set of habits that you've got. Get involved and do them. How long will it take to break the habit? I can't tell you. Ignore what you've heard. 21 days, 3 months, whatever everyone says, okay? The truth of the matter is, it takes as long as it takes. Just never give up giving up. Never stop stopping the old way, and never stop trying to bring in the new way. If you do it for long enough, you will create the new habit. How long is long enough? I don't know, but I promise you this is how you learnt the old way, so this is how we're going to learn the new way. If we do it long enough, you will create change. Now, change will tend to start a little bit slowly at first, and then we start to build steam, because the outside world starts to reflect back at us what it is we're trying to create or who it is we're trying to be. It gives us that motivation to do more. It's like going to the gym. You do 3 weeks down the gym, your muscles aren't growing and you're starting to feel a bit despondent. On week 4, you start to see a little bit of shadow in your arm, you start to feel a little bit of muscle, and you go, wow, I like this, and you keep going, it spurs you on, you do a bit more, you train a bit harder. 2-3 months down the line, people start saying, wow, have you been going down the gym? It makes you feel even better, you start seeing even more results, you go to the gym and train even harder. It builds momentum. Does this make sense? The hardest part of breaking the habit, I'm telling you now, is going to be the first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even the first 4 weeks, where we don't really see the change. I certainly won't necessarily see the change in the outside world, and therefore we can lose our momentum. Here's the thing, you will see the changes if you look close enough. So pay special attention to the feedback you're getting that what you're doing is working. It builds momentum, it will build your positive belief systems around what you're doing is going to work. You'll start to enjoy it more, you'll start to get excited by the outcome, and all of that will keep that momentum and that motivation going so that you see the process through. Never give up, giving up the bad habits that are creating the negative results in your life. Until next time, be successful.